All right, everyone, I've got a couple of announcements here, and they're very positive, very good announcements. The first is that I have purchased a new laptop. Of course, the one I've been using for the last few years, which was crowdfunded, still appreciative for that. It can't process things quite as quickly as I need it to. So I've decided to get a massively overpowered, admittedly, Alienware laptop, which I assume will be fine for the kind of gaming that I tend to do, making videos of that. I know there were some problems with like the Victoria 2 recording before. I may even, because it's, is as it is, I may be able to actually use my new webcam using OBS and be able to actually use that as my new webcam. Some people suggested I didn't have quite enough processing power to actually get it to work at the proper frame rate. Now, I question that myself because this laptop I'm using now is already quite powerful, but we'll see what happens. It might actually be true, and if that actually is the case, great, new recording setup. I'm glad I didn't return the webcam because I figured, well, I'm not going to go through the hassle. I still have to pay for the shipping twice. What's the point? The Logitech will eventually release new webcams anyway. I'm just going to keep it anyway. So we'll see how that works. And again, even if it ends up rendering into 720, that's perfectly fine by me to have the wider angle and the much, much sharper focus, far better lighting. I think it would look more professional even if it wasn't in 1080. It's fine for my purposes. So that's announcement number one. Announcement number two is that I've decided to dedicate the following 2 years, until 2019, to nonstop work. That is, I'm going to be doubling down on my editing and writing. I do intend this year to begin the second Sickness in Hell. I want to go back and re-edit some older works to bring them in line with new information. I have, for instance, Fruits of Eden. I've got several dozen new entries planned for that, based on plants that I've seen referred to in other herbals now as part of research into works that I've been editing. So that's definitely a project I intend to engage in. I also do want to make more live streams, and I know I keep putting that off. I keep saying I intend to have a live show, like a weekly or bi-weekly live thing going on, but I think if I have better processing power in front of me, I should be able to invest in some sort of call-in system, because the ultimate goal is to have it look more like an actual radio show, as opposed to just me sitting here and talking in audio-only format. I would like to be able to have the camera off to the side, sit at a desk, have a co-host, maybe multiple people on board with it, because that leads to better discussion, and then take calls, and just crack jokes at the expense of the legacy media, corporate politics in general. But it's going to take some figuring through. As well, I do intend to fund having a website made at some point, because the blog that I'm using currently to host all the literary works, while it's fairly sleek and I feel for my standards it's well designed enough, I'd like to have a website, an actual website that's more expansive, something that can have links to my different content. Hopefully something that can sort of spit out new tweets and updates as they come online in one location for people to be able to go to. So that's a little bit about what I have in store for the next couple of years. And again, I might as well renew the no ad pledge. I won't be taking ad revenue. But I never will. At this point, it would be worthless to even bother because of YouTube's new terms of service with regards to AdSense. Probably none of my videos would friggin' be monetized anyway, so what's the friggin' point? I've seen several other content creators just in the past week. Oh, well, AdSense doesn't work anymore. I need other forms of revenue. Use Patreon. It's far better. You'll get more money for one thing. You get a much larger cut of the final amount. People probably be more willing to donate because you're standing on principle. And I think at this point, people understand. Unless the content is very G-rated, it never gets monetized. Even G-rated content gets demonetized now. It's become a prevalent issue. YouTube needs to fix it. It needs to come up with some sort of compromise. I've suggested multiple categories for ads, as opposed to simply demonetizing someone's work. Why don't you just have edgier companies and their ability to serve ads as well, and say, we don't care what kind of content appears on, or we only want it on the edgy content because we're an edgy company, something like that. You know, we sell adult products. Do we really care if somebody said shit in their video? Probably not. In fact, we probably encourage it. So why don't you have that sort of setup? YouTube would quickly take in a lot more ad revenue if that were the case, as well as better tools maybe for people who want smaller ad campaigns. But yeah, there's a little bit about what's happening. New laptop should be here by mid next week. And then I've got to set everything up. I've got to migrate all the like literary files and, you know, my collection of movies and stuff to the new computer. But it's a beast of a computer. The last video that I make with this setup will be of the new computer. It's an Alienware 15. It's got the most powerful processor I could get put in it. It has the combination hard drive and solid state drive. It has an extra RAM. I had that put in. Better Wi-Fi connection, because I figure, you know, sometimes I make videos on the breezeway. I want something that connect properly. It's got sort of all the bells and whistles, so it should be good for a few years. But I just needed more processing ability, and I do want to get into some topical gaming. I'd love to be able to buy like the PC version of some of these games that people often play on console. Like, I'd love to play Fallout 4. You play Fallout 4 on a laptop, you can get all the mods and stuff like that. That'd be fun. It'd be fun to just sort of dick around on these things. I no longer have... I used to be a console gamer for most of my life. You know, I remember, like, the SNES, N64, sort of PS2 and GameCube days. I remember all that stuff. And so I kind of like it. But I don't, because I multitask, because I do internet stuff so constantly, I'm more comfortable sitting at this point at just a computer. And I know, you can get like a controller, you can hook it up to a USB port on your computer anyway. So it's the same experience. I could put a screen up behind the laptop for a larger screen there too. You know, so it's no problem. But I figured I'd make this, take this plunge and make this investment to make everything just a little bit more smooth and straightforward on the channel. So yeah, a little bit about what I'm going to be doing for 2 friggin' years. And then, of course, there will be good times after that to come. 2019 is going to be a wonderful year. Of course, you have as well, remember, midterm elections going into it. So it'll be pretty fun. It's going to be hilarious. What I want to do, and here's the last thing, in regards to a live show, because I'm going to set it up sort of like a radio show style studio arrangement, having other people to help comment on what goes on during big events, so I can come online, start the stream, say, oh yeah, there's been like a 10.0 earthquake in San Francisco. Oh, there's been a nuclear strike in North Korea, something like that. It just helps with coverage, because then you can bring it online as quickly as possible, even if you have to go it alone for a broadcast. And it looks good, it sounds good. It would just be something interesting that I'd like to do. That's about all. Peace out.